All right, here we are, hour number 2 on One Bills Live. Chris Brown, Steve Tasker coming to you live from the NFL Combine in Indianapolis, and sitting in between us right now, you know him from the NFL on CBS, but he's got his NFL Network hat on this week, as he is a draft analyst for the network. He'll be watching all the workouts this week. Charles Davis joins us.
It's not an NFL Network hat on it.
He's got a New Paltz hat because that's where he's from. But
Go Huguenots.
So, Charles, I want to begin here. I want to start in your wheelhouse, the cornerback position, because it's considered to be a good corner class, particularly nickel corners, I'm hearing. I know there's 2 of your own Tennessee boys, probably in the top 5 amongst the corners with McCoy and Hood.
Yeah.
But what about – I need your insight on the nickel position and how its responsibilities are morphing and changing in the NFL, because – they played almost 95% of the snaps as little as 5 years ago, and then the running game has reemerged in the league, and now these 190-pound guys are having to bear up against guards, and they're not even allowed to cut them anymore.
That's not right.
So, so what type of has the prototype for the nickel position changed, where maybe you have to be a little sturdier and closer to 200 pounds than maybe a 185, 190-pound guy? I know 10 pounds may not make a difference. It's all about want to. But you know what I'm getting at. They become targets of opposing running games.
No, I think you're exactly right about it, Chris. And let's face it, the nickel position, Steve, you remember, the nickel position looked a lot like you. Like when you were going, if that guy went inside to go cover, right? Because he needed to be able to keep up with them, right? He needed to be shifty and be able to move. It's interesting. The last time I came to see you guys for a ball game, I flew in with one of the assistant general managers of the Buffalo Sabres, and had a quick discussion about how the hockey player has morphed and changed. Because when we were kids, right? They were all pocket rockets, right?
Right.
Shifty, moving, the whole thing. Tough as you all get out. But then the Eric Lindros has started to hit the scene. And now you get on an elevator with a hockey team, you think it's a bunch of outside linebackers and tight ends. Like, these are some big, big people.
Oh, yeah.
The same thing is kind of happening with the nickel position, to your point, because of how the game has changed in terms of people are trying to get back to running the football, because we had gone with all these little people. And look, Buffalo is one of the leaders of it. 4-2-5 come, heck or high water, right? 5 defensive backs are going to play every down, the whole deal. And so people are starting to answer with, I'm going bigger, extra offensive linemen, extra tight end, fullbacks. Let's beat them up and see what we can do. So where are we getting to? Derwin James, Los Angeles Chargers, monster. Nick Eamon-Warry, Seattle Seahawks, monster. Kyle Hamilton, Baltimore Ravens, monster. Now, the problem is, there aren't many of them.
Yeah, how to find those.
How do you find that guy?
And sometimes teams have countered with 3 safeties on the field instead. And the Bills, actually, I know their defensive scheme is changing now, but last year they found a lot of success with that 3-3-5 nickel package that they ran. I mean, that's a scheme change to address a shortage. But I heard nickel class is good, and I was like, maybe because Taron Johnson turns 30 this year.
And boy,
you probably want to
player.
get a guy.
Like
you probably want to get a guy in the pipeline to kind of learn behind him for a year.
You do.
You got any nickels that you really like that you think can bear up in the run front?
Well, let me tell you something. Hood from Tennessee, if you put him in the nickel spot, he'll bear up fine, because he is an aggressive, good tackler. He is not just simply that cover guy. Right? He can absolutely do that. The hard part is finding that guy, as Steve and I are talking about, that looks like these other guys. Well, the one safety that kind of looks like that is the kid out of Toledo. What's his name? McNeil Warren.
McNeil Warren, yeah.
He looks the part. But
he's Eamon-Warry size.
He's Eamon-Warry size. I don't think he's as fast. Eamon-Warry is crazy fast. Right. But they haven't asked him to play that way. They've asked him to be much more of a high safety. But I do think he can drop in the box and handle things like that. But if you're going to get outside of that first round and get down into – look, Avion Terrell from Clemson, A.J. Terrell's brother, he can go ahead and drop in there and play it. I had to write down these notes because me and my brain, it's going to be tough to get along. The funny part is Malik Muhammad from Texas looks like your traditional nickel. Feisty is all get out, tough against the run, but size-wise isn't as big, right? Not as big as maybe what we're looking for, but they are out there. And look, the prototypical nickel is the kid out of Indiana Ponds.
But
right?
he's tiny,
But
tiny.
he's tiny.
He might be the
tiny.
smallest guy in the class.
Right. Tiny. But let me tell you something. It's like watching Marcus Jones.
Yeah, 5'9",
Yeah,
173.
here's the thing, and I get it too, because there are guys. I mean, I played for a half minute, a little tiny, and it's you can do it. But I was covering like 1 out of every 5 plays.
Right.
You play nickel. You're in there 2 out of every 5 plays, and
Maybe 3.
And that difference is.
And here comes that
comes
puller.
durability.
And here comes that puller.
Yeah, it's durability. You can play and the attitude, and
Yep.
you can take guys on all you want, but mass times velocity equals force, and it's hard to stand up to it.
I love how you brought that up. Let me just ask you this, Steve, because you guys have covered this for so long now. When the Colts won the Super Bowl with Peyton Manning and that crew, all right, obviously they were great everywhere they looked. But you remember that lull they went through during the season when Jacksonville ran the ball and ran for 377, the whole deal? What was the difference again? Bob Sanders.
Bob Sanders was a great player but he couldn't stay on the field all the time
because
he had a bad knee.
And he's 5'8".
Yeah, he was 5'8".
And you remember
he tried to play like he was 6'3".
Right?
I did production meetings with him. I was like, dude, you're not very big.
And he threw his body
tough.
around like he was 6'5".
Yeah, he was all of that. But man, attitude's great, love it, they're scrappy.
He just couldn't last.
But they're the nail.
They're the nail,
not the hammer.
Right? And he got him through a Super Bowl. Right, because he made it back for the playoffs, and he was a difference, but his body just couldn't hold up.
So there are guys out there, and I was thinking about this walking over today. Guys who make it in the NFL, the guys who figure it out, what they got physically, what they need. If they got to have the right attitude, got to do all that. You got to figure it out for you. You got to figure it out in your body. I got to figure it out in my body, my gifts, and I got to figure it out in the attitude or the environment that I'm in on this team.
And how long can I last?
Right, and how long can I last? So. All these guys have got a place where they can figure it out, and it's who figures it out the best is the great player. Everybody's got something they bring to the table.
Sure do.
How do you find out who's going to figure it out? Right?
You think that you do through through conventional means. You meet with them, you spend time, you call people, you do all these things, right? And you do as much homework as possible. And then you get them. And it might not be exactly what you thought it was. Something may have changed. Something was different here. Something was that. Not all the time. Sometimes it's better than what you expected, right? But you can do all the homework you want. Think of the millions of dollars you spend on scouting and evaluating each year. And what would you say is a good hit rate for a good GM?
300.
Yeah, I mean, it's like playing baseball, right?
Yeah, if you hit 400,
you hit 400. You had a heck of a class.
You get 7 draft picks a year. You're trying to hit 2.
You're trying to hit 2,
3,
right?
Maybe
3, and
on a good year.
And if you have a 4th, right, you're executive of the year.
Yeah,
so
exactly
it's a tough deal. And
you're executive of the year the next year,
right? You're right. The next year, you're exactly right. You prime yourself.
Somebody else is the executive of the year
that year. Then next year, you're
the guy who's
you're
got
the
your
one.
job. Yeah,
but it's so true, right? Because that's what you're building on.
Yeah.
But they put everything into it, trying to learn these kids, and you do the best you can. And as Steve will tell you, all of a sudden you look up and that guy's not there. The guy you thought it was. And I'll just leave it with this. You remember Seattle Seahawks trying to get quarterback right a bunch of years ago? Yeah. Charlie Whitehurst, and then they signed Matt Flynn off that one great game that he had against the Detroit
Green
Lions,
Bay,
and then he drafted Russell Wilson in the 3rd round. I've always wanted to know the conversation. Pete Carroll, John Schneider, with the late, great Paul Allen, who owned the team. Mr. Allen, we got to sign Matt Flynn. We need him to be our quarterback. Free agent contract, big money. Yes, sir. Good. Go ahead and do it. They get to camp.
Yeah.
Preseason. Mr. Allen,
this guy's better.
Mr. Allen, the 3rd round guy's better.
Yeah.
And
well, I'm glad you drafted him.
And he did it, but Steve, am I wrong? Do you think Paul Allen looked at him and said, "Okay, but you both better be right"?
You better be right. They were.
Last one I got for you. Since you are a former cornerback by trade, I'm curious of the film that you've watched of the receivers in this class.
Yeah.
Who, from your cornerback perspective, do you say, "Oh man, I want to have that guy assigned to me all game"?
Carnell Tate.
Is there anybody that's a close second?
Yeah, I think Mekhi Lemon.
Okay.
Right. Tyson, I like a lot.
Yeah.
He scares me a little bit with injuries.
What scares you about them as a corner? What about their game scares you?
I think Tate's ability to be pretty darn shifty at darn near top speed.
Okay.
and he goes and gets the football. These Ohio State kids are a little bit different, and I really like the second receivers at Ohio State because it's almost like the old car commercial. They try harder.
Yeah,
right? You know, to it. And they come up through the ranks, and they're not shy of competition because a lot of them join when they're 3 or 4 of those receivers still already there.
Okay,
and they don't go away from it. That's what I like most about Tate. Tyson, I love the body, I love the speed. I worry about the injury pass, a few concentration drops that I've seen along the way, and then Lemon. I just thought Lemon was exceptional this year. I really did. I thought he was a heck of a player.
So what
really
scares you as a corner about Lemon? Just his shiftiness and separation ability?
Yards after catch.
Okay.
Getting him on the ground's not easily done, and he likes to operate that way. One move, whoosh, and off he goes.
Okay.
And so, but I think there's a bunch of these receivers, and I'll just leave it with this, guys. Malachi Fields from Notre Dame goes over the top and goes and gets it for you.
And a nice Senior Bowl week,
Had
right?
a really nice Senior Bowl week. You know, a guy like that can go play, but I just think there are a bunch of them out there.
Okay.
And as usual, we'll find a second or third round receiver that's pretty darn good. Remember, Pittsburgh made their living on second and third round receivers.
Oh, yeah. Charles, thanks as always for the time.
Thanks
we know
for
you got a
having
busy
me,
week,
guys.
so thanks for
Appreciate
carving out
it.
some time for us.
Hey,
Always a
thank
pleasure
you.
having you in, and we'll catch up with you down the line.
I look forward. I'm just so glad that Buffalo is not the sw capital of New York right now.
Well, Syracuse usually beats us in total snowfall every year.
Why you want to give it to Syracuse? Just take the
we don't need
win.
that. We don't need that
Just
mantle.
take the win.
We don't need that mantle.
You guys be good. Take
thanks,
care.
Charles.
Yeah, we'll be watching Charles's coverage on NFL Network throughout the week. You got a promo?
I forgot. Beat Highland.
Oh,
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right.